takes your time and gives you nothing. I mean nothing. Instagram just drastically lowers your testosterone. The more you look at lives of others, the more you compare yourself to others, the more your testosterone drops. Downloaded it back many times, like 10, 20 times maybe. I've downloaded it back because I had cravings, and believe me, guys, if you would like to give out any value to this world, you just won't be able to do this while you're sitting in one of those social media apps. Hey there! Well, I've deleted Instagram app from my phone completely, like more than 6 months ago. And as you will probably read in the video title, I have literally never felt better. And as more than half a year have passed since that moment, I think it's a good time to sit and reflect on the whole experience, explaining you what was so bad about Instagram itself, through which stages or steps did I go through to quit it eventually, and what did I get as a benefits at the end of the day. And well, before we start, I should admit that I probably could also have a TikTok addiction, but luckily enough, I've been already too old for this shit at the moment, and I was lucky in that way that I didn't have an app installed on my phone whatsoever. But going back to the topic, well, Instagram literally started to destroy my life one step at a time, like gradually, because I've kept spending more and more time scrolling through this big feed, big feed of content, and I've literally wasted hours of my life seeking for some more and more excitement, more emotions, because I think the very key moment when Instagram started harming people, when it started to affect the whole population, so I would use that word, but when they've introduced that big feed of content feature, right? I think that was the very moment when people's perception or people's common usage of an application shifted from looking what's going on in their friend's life, in their family member's life maybe, to observing experiences and lives of millions of people they don't even know, they don't even give a shit about actually. So it shifted from just being sincerely interested in lives of others to just consuming tons and tons of just ridiculous and useless content on a daily basis. And just over the time I've started to understand that I'm not really interested not only in this distant people's lives, but I'm no longer really interested in my friends' lives or my relatives' lives. And I just, no longer interested in any of the things that real life can offer you, right? Well, to begin with, I'd like to mention and to explain to you, based on my experience, based on my perception, what's exactly so bad about Instagram and probably about whatever else social media apps are there on the moment. Like, which harm does they cause to you exactly? I believe I'll just skip the obvious ones, like giving you the bad posture, giving you the bad eyesight, worsening your night's sleep if you're just like many of us sitting on your phone before the bedtime, etc., etc. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the big ones, which really may affect your life, especially as a man, because I believe women are different to men in that way, because women just naturally, evolutionary, if you may, need lots of information about what's going on around them, because back then it was one of the valuable assets for women to assess their surroundings, to assess the ongoing situation, like who's your friend, who's your enemy. This male individual is more dominant than this one, for example, I should be with him rather than with him, etc., etc., right? But men are really different in that way, I believe, because evolutionary men are more like self-focused creatures, or if you may, individuals which are more focused on fighting, on war, on whatever the crafts they are doing. So they are more focused on the transforming reality to their needs rather than looking around and seeking for whatever information they might or might not need, right? And well, the very first harming thing, which is connected not only with Instagram, with every social media app out there, I believe, is dopamine overstimulation. So everybody today talks about dopamine detox protocols, routines, etc. And basically, yes, it's all about the same thing. Instagram overstimulates our dopamine, and it disbalances our dopamine regulation, because we are just falling in this dopamine vicious cycle, starting from you find something interesting on your phone, your reward system actually rewards you for that with pleasure, with joy, and two things happen at that moment. The first one being, like I said, you're getting positive emotions. And second one, which is the consequence of the first one, is that you're getting this fixation that this action led to pleasure, to joy. But the problem here is that the action itself was just useless, was just no good to your real life, and it's not getting you any results or any benefits in real life. So in the modern world, you don't have any major advantage if you have lots of information about everything, every sphere of life going on out there. You're having the benefit if you're having the exact needed piece of information about needed object, let's say. Coming back to the difference between men and women, it preserves the same way, I believe. And so you're getting in this vicious cycle, coming back to the same source of that excitement, which once again takes your time and gives you nothing. I mean, nothing. And the second outcome of this is that usual, let's say, casual life pleasures, such as, for example, just simple sunlight or good weather, or excitement after training, after sports, or being with your close ones, with your relatives, with your family, with your close friends. All of these things no longer bring you the same level of joy and the same level of emotions they used to. So basically the problem being that you're substituting the real emotions, the real life, with something artificial, which is not a good thing, obviously. And the second way in which Instagram or other social media apps are harming you, especially men, but not only men, this is also concerning women, but the mechanisms here are different, is that Instagram just drastically lowers your testosterone. And the funny thing about that is that, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos here or there, today's world just tells you that you have low testosterone, and the main reasons being named are you're not training enough, you're not eating that or this product, this magic product, right? And yes, one of the major factors for current worldwide testosterone drop is our way of life. That's true. But the other one, which is really underestimated, is the psychological side of the problem. And so what Instagram does to you is that it makes you constantly look at lives of other male individuals, look and compare your life to their lives. And we all know and we all understand that many times, and even I would say more frequently, there's ways of life, that lifestyles which are shown to us on Instagram, they are really frequently exaggerated. They're just not true. All of these guys on Instagram, they don't show you the second part of the medal. The more you look at lives of others, the more you compare yourself to others, the more your testosterone drops, because you're starting to get the perception that your status, that your position in the social hierarchy is far more or less than theirs. But maybe even if it's true, like maybe even if their results or their lifestyle is not so exaggerated, even if it's true and they really gained it by their work, it does no good to you, to your life. Because the more you're looking, the more you're observing the reality, the less you control it, right? Because the more you're looking around, this guy has this guy had this car, he's got business, he's got this hot chick, whatever, the less focused you are on your own life, right? What you get eventually is a significant testosterone drop, and for sure, guys, it's not that I pass my blood test before I sit on Instagram and before I detoxed from Instagram for half a year. No, I didn't pass any blood work or something, but I know very well how testosterone feels, okay? This feeling, you can never mess up this feeling with anything else, this feeling of self-confidence, of focus, of being able to concentrate, of what's important, to be able, to see clearly what do you really need in that life, what it takes, what's the price you should pay to achieve it. When you have low testosterone, you just don't have that focus, you don't have that confidence, you have lowered self-esteem, etc., etc. And by the way, you can check all of this implications on my other video. So basically, the advice being, don't look around, don't compare yourself to other truly dominant or just fake dominant male individuals out there on Instagram. Focus on your life, and believe me, it's the feeling which is not compared to sitting on Instagram. So just focus on progressing with your own life. And the way number 3 in which Instagram just hit me hard was this, common information overload which I got scrolling through the huge, massive feed of content. Because, our daily concentration and the amount of decisions we can make on a daily basis is limited. And the more you're percepting this, the more you're observing, the more you're having this 360 degrees view on everything and nothing, which is true, everything and nothing, really. The less you can consume and transform and just, utilize really useful information. So I just started to feel that I don't have that focus, I don't have this attention, I don't have this intellectual capabilities, if you may, which I need to solve my tasks at work, for example, or whatever else needs I have on a daily basis. So, and it's the common problem of today's world, this information overload. Like I said, you don't want to have all the information, all possible information in the world. You need to be really picky about what information you need. Then you need you'll need to choose a specific source of that type of information and just stick to it. And that probably will be my other recommendation. Try to limit, I would say generally, types of information or amounts of narratives you're consuming on a daily basis to, I can't tell you the exact number, but as less as possible sources of information per day. Now just a couple of words about which stages or steps I went through to actually quit. And the first one being, and by the way, you can use it as your own roadmap through that journey. The first one was that I've just, moved the application to some of the faraway folders on my phone to get it really difficult to access. With some time passing, I started to understand that this is not really efficient. When I need Instagram, I still go to that exact folder, I find the application, even if it takes more time than usual, I still able to find it and to dive into this useless shit once again. The next thing I've done was, and basically, by the way, it also can be a general recommendation for your dopamine detox, I've just disabled all of the colors on my phone, like literally all the colors were grayed out. I had just a black-white screen all the time. And this one really helped me, because if you will try it, you will understand that there's really no use neither for Instagram nor for YouTube, for example, if you have black-white screen. It's just not so entertaining to look at all of this content, you know, when you have this when you have no color. But eventually I got used to it, and I started to look through Instagram even in the black and white. Like, I decided, okay, I will not look through the pictures, through the videos, I will just read the text. Okay, like, I'm smart, I don't need there's all of this, you know, informational based, I just will read the text. But the reality is that it's just another workaround of our brain to go to that fixed source of dopamine, of pleasure, of joy, and to fall into this vicious cycle once again. So next thing I've done is I've just deleted it. I deleted Instagram. First time, I should confess to you, I downloaded it back many times, like 10, 20 times maybe. I've downloaded it back because I had cravings, because I need to look at what's going on with this friend, with this mate, what's going on with this dude, what does this blogger post, etc, etc. Then there's interventions, let's say, became less and less frequent, but my brain found another workaround to that dopamine source. It switched from Instagram to YouTube Shorts. So literally the same thing right now. But eventually, through the time, I've stopped looking through Instagram, looking through YouTube Shorts. I've just stopped. I don't know how exactly did it happen, but I believe that it's about this gradual transitions, moving through all of the stages, steps to, let's say, unteach, to unfix this link between stimuli and joy, to just just break the cycle and finally get free. Well, now I will say not really pleasant thing to most of you guys, but when I've downloaded, when was one of the last times when I've downloaded Instagram back, and I've scrolled through the feed, I've checked what's going on with my mates, I realized that, honestly speaking, I no longer give a shit. And I've realized that I no longer give a shit about their lives. I know that it's harsh. I know that many of you may not like this, but I mean, I just don't give a shit anymore. Their lives are their lives. If I really care about them, I will text them in the messengers. I will call them. I will set a meeting with them. I will go have a beer or something else with them. Just chat in reality with them. I will try to help them out in some real ways rather than just because. And what it says about the whole phenomena is that when you're looking at your friends or mates' lives through the Instagram, it's not about you caring about them. It's just about you, as a usual animal, getting the joy and getting the excitement and getting the emotions. So it's not about care. It's about you getting what you need. And therefore, when I came back to the same activity, I realized that this was not about care. I don't care about them. I don't care about their lives. Yes, there are a couple of dudes for sure that are like my best friends with which I meet, whatever, but this is about activities in real life, not about this Instagram bullshit, you know. And well, now, just skipping that part when I dived into that feed of luxury lives and dudes being being cool on Instagram posts. It just almost made me vomit, to be honest. Because it just made me so sick that all of that dudes continue to gain and continue to mine this value for themselves through posting these pictures and through making just usual dudes like you and me looking at them. So this just made me sick, and I've deleted this shit completely. And so now, what are the takeaways from all of that? I can say that I really got following things. I got more confidence in myself. I got better self-esteem. I got more focus on my life, on trying to understand what do I need, what do I want. Because it just erased all of this informational waste from my mind, and it made me think about my real needs, about what I need, what should I do, what's my plan, what are my next steps. And as far as this dopamine vicious cycle was broken, I started to be more focused on my own life, and I started to find the meaning, the joy, the excitement in the more usual things, in the more normal things, I would say, like talking to my father, like spending time with my family, spending time with my father, spending time with my friends, like reading a book about subject which I'm really interested in, like thinking about what should I do in my life, like thinking about my life goals, and eventually maybe thinking about the value which I can give to the world. And believe me, guys, if you would like to give out any value to this world, you just won't be able to do this while you're sitting in one of those social media apps. And the reason for that is because you have this 360-degree sight. You know everything and nothing. You know everything about everybody, and this actually means nothing to you and nothing to the world. Well, today's talking head format is over. Hope this will help some of you guys in your journey to quit this Satan social media apps. And if you find this content useful, just please subscribe to my channel, like my content, and see you. Bye.